Hello, my garden friends. I might be shaking a little bit this morning. I wanted to say good morning and to show you a couple of things that are happening in my NJ garden in early spring. It's almost April. I think it's March 31st today because I'm putting in some new things and some things are starting to bloom and it's so exciting. I also wanted to show you what a few plants look like in very early spring because you might not think that they look the way that they do unless you actually saw them in real life. So take a look. So this is the front yard food forest in development. But right here we see the rain garden. And this is filled with native plants to New Jersey, which is where we are. And so we are in planting zone 6B, 7A. And what we're looking at right here is called a red aronia berry, and you can see that it's really happy that it's getting so warm out and it's just about to leaf out and bloom for us. But you can see that strangely enough, so many of the red aronia berries are still on the bush, and most of the bushes that make berries, those birds have taken care of them and feasted on them over the winter. But for some reason, even the native birds, even though this is a native shrub, they just don't seem to dig the red aronia berries. So I'm not sure if I'm thrilled about that. I don't know if I should replace this with a shrub that does support local wildlife, but I gotta tell you, when this baby blooms, it's so ornamental and so pretty, and I can't wait to show you. But I just wanted to show you that for some reason, this bush hangs on to its berries throughout the winter and into the early spring, and I'm just wondering at what point they're just gonna drop. Maybe once the flowers bloom, that will happen. I also wanted to show you that I go to our local municipal recycling center to get compost and mulch for free. Our township provides that for us. But it also allows you to drop off your yard waste and leaf cleanup if you choose to do that, and grass clippings. Someone cut down a bunch of yucca plants that were growing in their yard, and one of them had a pretty substantial root left on it. So if you know any gardeners in your life, or if you are an avid gardener yourself, you're probably pretty familiar with the fact that we can't bear not to rescue a plant that we think will look great in our yard. So that's what I did. I rescued this yucca and I cut the leaves down more than half because I know that even though there was a substantial root, it wasn't the whole root system that supported this plant. So I want to give it a good shot to recover in the yard. So I cut down most of the leaves and I put it in the ground. And let's see, maybe it'll come back. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it does. That's great. But I also wanted to show you some other things that are starting to wake up over in the food forest. This is the bonfire peach. And just look at these swollen pink buds. They are so ready to burst open. It's just going to be so lovely when it blooms, and it's almost about to bloom. The first things up in the spring, of course, are the hyacinths. They're bulbs, and they'll come and go quite quickly, but for now, I'm getting ready to enjoy the show they'll put on. And this is a Nanking cherry shrub, but it hasn't bloomed yet. It's just about to. Its partner behind it has. It's started to open up, and I just wanted to show you the lovely blossoms that we see on the Nanking cherry. It's such a pretty shrub, and it's just completely covered with these buds and flowers, and it puts on such a beautiful show in the spring. Just so that you have some point of comparison, they have a similar habit to a forsythia bush. This is when they bloom, very early spring. They grow at basically the same rate of speed. You can trim them into a hedge if you chose to. But this is when they're putting out their flowers, and this is the next peach tree. This is a Red Haven peach, and those buds are pretty swollen too, and they're getting ready to open up. So hopefully it'll kind of come in progression. The Nanking cherries will bloom, then the peaches, and it'll just be lovely. But keep in mind that the Nanking cherries bloom at the same time the daffodils do, so the daffodils are having a good early spring. And that's about it. The elderberries have started to leaf out. They're probably the shrub that leaves out the earliest in the spring. Those leaves open up quite early, and the little leaf buds have been bursting open for weeks now. So that was the first green that I saw out here in the garden. And just 2 days ago, I picked up my first hellebore, and it's already quite open and bloomed. Of course, it's going to be one of the first things that show up and bloom in the garden, but I have never had one before, and I'm happy to bring in an early bloomer into the yard. So the rhubarb is waking up too. That's unfurling. And this is blood dock sorrel, and that is my first leafy green edible vegetable that's showing its leaves right now in early spring. So again, it's March 31st. These are the Egyptian walking onions. They are doing pretty well, recovering from their winter sleep. And I've planted some peas along the outside of the trellis. You can see where there's some disturbance there, and that's because I put some peas in, but they're not up yet. Thanks for watching, everybody. I just wanted to say hi during this early spring morning, and I hope that you're outside and adding new things to your garden as well. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button, and I'd love to keep sharing my garden with you. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.